Most people get paid and then immediately wonder where their money disappeared. It doesn't vanish. It just leaks out quietly, bill by bill, impulse by impulse. And in 2026, that problem is worse than ever. Prices are higher, interest rates aren't what they used to be, and one wrong move with your paycheck can quietly set you back months without you even realizing it. The modern economy is designed to frictionlessly pull money out of your pocket through subscriptions, targeted ads, and buy now, pay later schemes that feel harmless but act like financial quicksand. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where your money should go every single time you get paid, and why the order matters more now than ever. This isn't theory or a motivational speech. This is the exact flow I would personally follow today, updated for 2026 and beyond, so you can stop guessing and finally take control of your money instead of reacting to it. We are moving from a defensive mindset to an offensive one. The moment you get paid, the first thing your money needs to do is cover all minimum debt payments. That includes credit cards, student loans, car loans, and even buy now, pay later balances. Think of this step as staying afloat. You're not moving forward yet, but you're making sure you don't sink. Missing even one payment can damage your credit score, and bad credit makes everything in life more expensive. In 2026, the cost of borrowing is a major divider between those who build wealth and those who stay trapped. Renting, loans, mortgages, insurance, all of it gets harder when your credit suffers. For example, if you are looking to rent an apartment in a competitive city like Austin or Madrid, a lower credit score might mean you have to put down a 3-month deposit instead of one, instantly locking up thousands of dollars of your liquidity for no reason other than a missed payment 3 years ago. Your credit score is mostly driven by two things: payment history and how much debt you carry. Together, they make up about 65% of your score. As long as you pay on time and keep debt reasonable, your credit generally takes care of itself. At this stage, you don't need a perfect debt payoff strategy. You just need automatic minimum payments set up so nothing slips through the cracks. Imagine a scenario where you have a credit card with a $5,000 limit. If you are constantly carrying a balance of $4,500, your utilization ratio is 90%. This screams risk to lenders. Even if you pay on time, that high utilization drags your score down. By covering your minimums and keeping that balance lower, you're signaling to the financial system that you are a reliable partner, which earns you lower interest rates on everything in the future. Right after that comes a step that makes everything else easier, and that's automation. Automate your entire financial system. If your money moves automatically before it even hits your checking account, you can't spend it by accident. No discipline required. No remembering. No relying on motivation. Most banks and brokerages let you schedule recurring transfers, and spending 15 minutes setting this up can be one of the best financial decisions you ever make. In 2026, we live in a world of decision fatigue. We are bombarded with choices from the moment we wake up. By automating your finances, you remove the need to be strong every payday. If $500 is automatically moved to your savings the second your paycheck lands, you never feel like that money was yours to spend on a luxury dinner or a new gadget in the first place. You adapt your lifestyle to what remains rather than trying to save what is left over. Next, you need to set aside money for necessities. This is your monthly operating budget, the money it costs just to exist. Rent or mortgage, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, healthcare. I like keeping this money either in my main checking account or in a separate account labeled Essentials. The goal is simple. You always know your bills are covered. Consider the cost of living fluctuations we've seen recently. In 2026, utility bills might spike in the summer or winter due to energy shifts. By having a clear Essentials bucket, you can see these trends early. For instance, if your grocery bill has climbed from $400 to $600 a month over the last year, you need to see that data clearly so you can adjust your wants category accordingly, rather than dipping into your long-term savings to buy eggs and milk. If your monthly expenses are around $2,900, you want at least that amount available at all times, ideally with a small buffer. This is not your emergency fund. This is your predictable, everyday spending. A helpful guideline here is the 50-30-20 split. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for saving or investing. Depending on where you live, those numbers may shift, and that's completely fine. If you live in a high-cost city like New York, London, or San Francisco, your needs might take up 60% of your income. That's okay, as long as you are honest with yourself and cut back on the wants to keep your savings intact. What matters is knowing your numbers. If you don't know exactly what it costs to be you for 30 days, you are flying a plane without a dashboard. After that comes your emergency fund, your financial shock absorber. This is money you do not touch unless something genuinely unexpected happens. In 2026, I believe the target should be 4 to 6 months of expenses, not 3. The job market has become more volatile, and AI-driven shifts in various industries mean that career transitions can take longer than they used to. If your monthly needs are $2,500, that means a goal of $10,000 to $15,000. Think about a real-world emergency. Your car's transmission fails, costing $3,000. Or you have an unexpected medical procedure not covered by insurance. Without this fund, those events become debt. With this fund, they are merely inconveniences. You pay the bill, you move on, and you slowly refill the fund later. If that sounds overwhelming, start smaller. $5,000 is a great first milestone. This fund gives you flexibility, peace of mind, and protection when life inevitably throws something at you. Keep this money in a high-yield savings account so it stays liquid, accessible, and earns something, even if rates are lower than they were a few years ago. In 2026, many digital banks offer buckets or vaults within your savings account. You can label one emergency fund and another home repair. This psychological separation is incredibly powerful. It prevents you from looking at a large balance and thinking, I can afford a vacation, when in reality, that money is your safety net. It's the difference between sleeping soundly at night and lying awake wondering what happens if your company announces layoffs tomorrow morning. Once that's in place, it's time to start investing for the long term. Your employer-sponsored retirement account should be your first investing stop. Whether it's a 401k, a workplace pension, superannuation, or an RRSP, the principle is the same. Aim to contribute at least 10 to 15% of your income and always contribute enough to get the full employer match. That's free money. It is the only place in the financial world where you get an immediate 100% return on your investment. For example, if your company matches up to 4% of your salary and you earn $75,000 a year, that is an extra $3,000 a year they are giving you just for participating. If you don't take it, you are essentially taking a $3,000 pay cut for no reason. Even modest, consistent investing adds up. Investing $7,500 per year over 40 years at an average 8% return can turn into over $2 million. This is why starting early matters so much, and why automation makes this almost effortless. In 2026, the tools available to retail investors are better than ever. You can use low-cost index funds or target date funds that automatically rebalance as you get older. You don't need to be a stock market wizard or spend your weekends analyzing balance sheets. You just need to be consistent. Time in the market is always more important than timing the market. The person who starts at 25 and stops at 35 often ends up with more money than the person who starts at 35 and saves for 30 years. After that, it's time to aggressively deal with high-interest debt, anything above roughly 15%. This usually means credit cards or high-interest personal loans. You can use the avalanche method, which targets the highest interest rate first, or the snowball method, which focuses on the smallest balances first. Let's look at an example. If you have a credit card at 24% interest and a furniture loan at 10%, the avalanche method says you pay every extra penny toward that credit card because it's costing you the most. However, if you have 3 small debts of $500 each and one massive debt of $10,000, the snowball method suggests paying off the small ones first to get that win and clear them off your plate. One is mathematically optimal, the other is psychologically motivating. Choose the one you'll actually stick with, because progress beats perfection every time. Lower interest debt is more nuanced. This includes things like mortgages or older student loans with rates around 3 or 4%. Sometimes investing while carrying low interest debt makes sense because the stock market historically returns 7 to 10% over the long run. If your debt costs you 3% and your investments earn 8%, you are technically gaining 5% by not paying the debt off early. However, other times, peace of mind matters more. There is a psychological freedom that comes from owning your home outright or being completely debt-free that a spreadsheet cannot capture. This is a personal decision, not a rule you follow because someone online told you to. In 2026, with shifting global markets, some people prefer the guaranteed return of paying off debt, while others prefer the liquidity of a brokerage account. Once the basics are handled, you can invest beyond your retirement account. A common priority looks like this. Get the employer match. Then fund a Roth IRA or an equivalent tax-advantaged account. Then add more to your retirement account, or invest in a taxable brokerage account. Roth accounts are powerful because growth is tax-free. You pay the tax now, but when you withdraw the money 30 years from now, every penny of that growth is yours to keep, regardless of how high tax rates might be in the future. Taxable accounts offer flexibility and no contribution limits. If you want to retire early or buy a second home in 10 years, the taxable brokerage account is your best friend because you can access that money without the penalties often associated with retirement accounts. The most important thing isn't perfect optimization. It's consistency. Finally, the last place your money should go is toward building additional income streams. Most self-made millionaires don't rely on just one source of income. In 2026, depending on a single paycheck is risky. This doesn't mean working nonstop or sacrificing your mental health. Even 1 to 5 hours a week can add a few $100s a month or more, and that extra income can accelerate everything else you're doing. Imagine you start a small side project that brings in an extra $500 a month. That doesn't just go toward a nicer car. If you funnel that $500 directly into your investments, you could potentially shave 10 years off your retirement date. Income is your greatest wealth-building tool, and diversifying it is the ultimate insurance policy against economic downturns. The landscape of 2026 offers incredible opportunities for micro-entrepreneurship, freelancing, content creation, investing in digital assets, online businesses, teaching a skill through a platform, or even specialized local services. The options are endless. You might use your weekends to consult on a topic you've mastered at your day job, or you might manage a small portfolio of dividend-paying stocks that slowly grows every quarter. And the best part is that any extra income feeds right back into every step before it, compounding over time. It makes your emergency fund grow faster, it kills your debt quicker, and it allows you to invest more aggressively. It creates a positive feedback loop, where your money starts working just as hard for you as you work for it. So that's exactly how I would handle my money every single time I get paid in 2026. It is a system built on protection, automation, and then aggressive growth. We start by ensuring we don't sink. We build a wall of security around our lives with an emergency fund. We utilize the power of employer matches and tax-advantaged accounts. And finally, we expand our horizons through diversified income. If you follow this flow, you aren't just surviving the economy of 2026, you are positioned to thrive in it. Wealth isn't about how much you make, but how much you keep, and how hard that money works for you while you're sleeping. If you want to keep learning how to manage, grow, and invest your money smarter, check out the other videos on the channel, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next.